Good afternoon and welcome to Muskegon Rotary. My name is Tim Arter and I have the pleasure of serving as the president this year. Today's program will be a presentation by the Pound Buddies. We will begin with a Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a reflection from Dave Mettendorp. One other matter of note is that we're going to be inducting 3 new members today. Ooh. I like that. And then, so we will recite the 4-way test at the end of the meeting. At this time, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dave?
My reflection comes from a wise man that all of you probably know a little bit. That's Dale Carnegie. You never achieve success unless you like what you're doing. The person that goes the farthest is generally the one who is willing to do and dare. The sure thing boat never gets far from shore. The person who seeks their applause from outside has happiness in another's hands. So let's pray. Dear God, I pray that you'll be with us and that you'll help us all to find stuff that we love to do and that you'll give us success in that. I pray for the Unity Music Festival that's going on downtown and that you'll keep the people safe and that the festival will be a success. And I pray that everything that we do will bring glory to your name. Amen.
At this time, you can go be seated and enjoy your lunch. We'll be back with you in a few minutes. At this time, I'd like to call forward members with guests. Members with guests or visiting Rotarians for their introductions, please. Again, members with guests, visiting Rotarians, and other introductions.
Good afternoon, everybody. Pete DeBoer from the Community Foundation. I'm here with Brittany Schultz. She is with Women's Resource Center, based in Grand Rapids, but she is one of the 2 employees that they have now here out in Muskegon, and they are extending their services to Muskegon and Ottawa counties.
Nancy Crandall, Muskegon Rotary, and I am very happy to introduce to those of you who don't know him, Mike Youngdahl, a former member of this club who abandoned us and moved to North Carolina.
It's wetter there and it's warmer. But one reason I came back to Rotary today, my wife said, okay, go to Rotary and see all your girlfriends there. So that's Nancy. Here.
Okay, Christy Pollack, Youth Exchange Officer. I have a very, very special guest here today. This is Cornelius Redhead from Denmark. So, and truly his last name is Redhead. And he has red hair. So Cornelius just got here 3 days ago from Denmark, and he'll be, yeah, and he'll be attending Reese Puffer High School this year. So, you want to say hello?
Okay, at this time, I'll call Kathy Brubaker-Clark and her guest for today's program.
Thank you and good afternoon. I'm excited to announce our program today, which is Pound Buddies. I have actually been on the Pound Buddies board for several years, and when I retired from the city of Muskegon, I started walking dogs every Monday morning at Pound Buddies, and that's one of the things when I started at GMed, I said I have to have my Mondays off because I'm not giving up Pound Buddies. So that's still what I love doing. So I'm very excited. Pound Buddies has come a long, long way since I've been involved with them, and you'll be meeting some of the board members later. I have to have a special call out, though, to Connie Carey, who's here, who Jan will be introducing. She actually is our founder and has brought us a long, long way over the last several years. So thank you, Connie. We do have a new location, and I'm sure our speakers will talk about that, but it's exciting to see where we are now and all that we've been involved in. So the two speakers we have today, we are very, very lucky to have Jan Jacobs as our chairperson. She came from, retired as Director of Philanthropy at Trinity Health in 2018 and began working with Pound Buddies to assist in building a new municipal animal shelter. She's got great financial skills, and be careful if she walks around and talks to you, because I'm sure she will get you to donate, which we appreciate. So today she's our board president and continues as an active volunteer at the shelter, overseeing fundraising efforts, shelter projects, and events. And secondly, we have Lana Carson, who started about the time I was went onto the board. And again, she is responsible for so much of where we have come over the years in the organization, getting us organized, getting things put together, getting the finances in order, and all the things that have brought us to where we are today. So she is our executive director. She's been instrumental in the evolution of how shelter animals are cared for in all of Muskegon County. Lana oversees the shelter operations and actively manages all animal welfare and public safety duties, working with law enforcement and providing court testimony when needed. So with that, I will ask Jan, and is Jan going to start, and then Lana will come up, or you can both come up. So Jan and Lana with Pound Buddies.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you all for inviting us to be here today. This is a great group to be in front of, and we have lots of new things to share since we've been in our new location. But I did want to take a minute real quick. Of course, with me is Lana, and we are going to tag team because Pound Buddies does play two very important roles in the community. We are an charitable animal shelter, and we also oversee all of animal care and control for Muskegon County. I do want to real quickly say, yes, Connie Carey's here. We have a couple other fellow Rotary members that are board members on our board. Doug Brown is on the Pound Buddies board. I think Kim Kelly Bramer is here. Kim is on our board. And rounding out our board, I'd like to just mention Deb Matrone, who's a retired insurance rep. Patrick Jackson from Jackson Murphy is on our board. Amy Ralston from the Kent County Human Resources, and Officer Christopher Birch, who is with the Muskegon Heights Police Department. So that is who is on our board currently. We are so thankful to have them all on our team. So I would like to just go through where we began, and this is where we began. This is our Keating location. Volunteers of Muskegon County Animal Control, today known as Pound Buddies, began in 1998 with a small group of very dedicated volunteers, including Connie Carey, who were committed to changing the way shelter animals were treated in our community. In 1998, homeless or stray animals who found themselves at the shelter on Keating Avenue were given 4 to 7 days to be reclaimed by their owners, or they were euthanized. At that time, the euthanization rate was 67%. Very slowly, volunteers began to take on more and more of the responsibility of caring for animals at the county shelter. These volunteers, which included Lana, worked diligently to end the gas chamber, to substantially reduce the euthanasia rate by opening up new life opportunities for shelter animals through adoptions and networking with other area rescue organizations. It was in 2019, oops, I'm gonna have to, technology. It was in 2019 when the county shelter located on Keating was deemed uninhabitable by the Department of Agriculture. The building was owned by the township, leased to the county, and was then the proverbial dog pound. At that time, estimates for building repairs were well over $1.5 million. And these repairs would still not bring the facility up to code or meet the revised standards for best practices in animal shelters. So when Pound Buddies negotiated a contract with the county to assume all animal care and control duties, one of the contractual stipulations was for us to find a new location. And there were no county funds available at that time to assist with this process. If Pound Buddies, our nonprofit organization, was unable to fund the project, Muskegon County's only municipal shelter would have closed and countless shelter animals would have perished. I think it's important to note that when the county operated the animal shelter, their annual budget was $650,000 annually. Today, Pound Buddies provides all animal care and control duties for Muskegon County for approximately $260,000 a year. And the services Pound Buddies provides for our county is far more extensive than it ever has been in the past. Lana will speak about that in just a moment. So in early 2020, the search for a suitable new location for the municipal animal shelter began. We looked at buildings to renovate and property to build new and launched a capital campaign to raise funds for the project. Our prayers were finally answered when we met John and Ron Hughes, who were considering downsizing to a new building on the property next to their current location, and thought their building would be a perfect solution for us, and we could not have agreed more. And in the words of John Hughes, we will be your neighbors. We won't complain about the noise. Just don't let my wife visit and bring home any more dogs. We wholeheartedly agreed. However, Susie is one of our newest board members, and we are very grateful to have her on the board. So the Hughes building facility became the future home of Pound Buddies. And we raised about $700,000 before March 20th, 2020, when COVID literally shut the country down. There were no donations. They did not exist at that time. We couldn't make personal visits. And we were really facing what seemed to be a daunting financial dilemma. So with no other options in sight, the Pound Buddies board made the monumental decision to seek lender financing. Throughout the pandemic, as an essential business, our doors never closed. And other than PPP funds to help with staffing, Pound Buddies did not receive any COVID relief funding from the city, county, or state. But we kept our heads down and we continued our work. Today, Pound Buddies' mortgage debt is $1 million. But on top of that, we are experiencing the residual effects of the pandemic and the current economic environment. Since 2021, shelter operations and animal care expenses have increased by 62%, and staffing expenses have increased by 32%. As of September 2023, dogs taken into the shelter has increased by 42%. And the most startling statistic of all is the number of unclaimed dogs left at the shelter by their owners has increased by 52%. For months, we have been in a capacity crisis, but now we're beginning to believe this may be our new normal. We have come to realize that housing insecurity directly correlates with the increase in homeless animals at every shelter in Muskegon County. At Pound Buddies, we remain strong and solid, Caring for our county's homeless, vulnerable dogs remains our top priority. Our resources remain extremely thin while the needs of the community continue to increase. The statistics speak for themselves. This week alone, we are caring for over 130 dogs. We are on call 7 days a week, 12 hours a day to rescue vulnerable dogs and reunite lost pets with their owners. I'm going to ask Lana to take over now, and she's going to speak more about how Pound Buddies is called in every day to keep you, your family, your neighborhood, and your pets safe.
All right. So I serve as the director, and we have two components when it comes to the animal shelter. So we have the animal shelter where we house the stray, abandoned, neglected animals. If your pet gets out of the fence, a family member, a holiday, or whatever, if your pet gets lost and is picked up by a Good Samaritan, by a police officer, or by animal control, they're going to be housed at Pound Buddies. They're going to be kept secure, and we're going to do everything in our power to locate you as the owner and keep that pet until you can be reunited. For any pet that is not claimed by their owner, they enter the Pound Buddy side of that and they go up for adoption. So at any given time, as Jan said, and our numbers continue to go up, it's just another unfortunate marker of what everybody is experiencing, financial, housing, things like that, and pets are part of that equation. So our numbers have gone up. We have taken in over 1,500 pets over the past, like each year for the past few years. Those intakes used to be below 1,000, and that's usually what we see. In fact, when we were looking at the data and all of our metrics, when we were looking at building a new shelter, everything for the 20 years that we had been in place, the intake numbers were going down, down, down. That's exactly what you wanted to see, because all of our efforts to keep animals in their home and not running loose, that's what we wanted to see. We were open for 1 year and boom, we went up 30% the first year, and now we're up over 50%. So we're seeing these numbers. One of the things I always find shocking is, well, Muskegon County is a very busy place. When we look at our shelter intake numbers, we're per capita, we're in line with what the intake is in Detroit, in Genesee County, and some of these huge metropolitan areas throughout the state. So relative to our population, we are right in line with those counties. We are extremely busy. We are the largest shelter on the west side of the state, even compared to Ottawa County, Kent County, some of our surrounding neighbors. When we look at our intakes and our population, we are well above those counties. So we are taking care of 130, 150 dogs on any given day. It's a crazy place. But we also have what is going on the outside, and this is where our focus is really starting to, it's been evolving over the past few years, because we're like, what is the change? Is this truly our new normal? So when we took over the operations of the animal care and control, that is fascinating, because everything that happens out in the community, that's what we're seeing in the shelter. What's happening out there? Why are we seeing the intakes? We know the number one reason that dogs are entering into the county shelter is housing insecurity. People are having to move in with family members. They're taking care of sick family members. There's some sort of transition where their family pet cannot come in, can come with them. They're going into nursing homes. They're facing eviction. So we have seen that housing insecurity is the number one. And when you're looking at when people are going through these traumatic times in their life, and then you add losing a pet on top of it, it's devastating. So we're really looking at things like that. Working with other organizations, is there any way of keeping pets in the home? Sometimes we have to take these animals in. We'll do anything that we can to house them and then get them back. We have people living in their cars. They do not want to separate from their pets. We're providing them with food. We're providing them with vet care. So it's become more important. We're looking at, on the animal control side, what is happening in our community and how do we help these people? If you guys are pet lovers in here, does everybody have a pet and we lovers? Okay, most people, not everybody, we get it. We won't hold that against you if you don't have a cat or dog. But I mean, we can look at even, over 60% of households in the United States, they have pets. Pets are an integrated part of our life. They're an indicator in our community of the quality of life that we have. They bring so much to us, from companionship, that unconditional love. There are service animals. They help in law enforcement, right? They are woven into everything. And so again, when we're working with animals, whether you're a pet lover, like, oh, it's just that I want to pet all the dogs in the world. You see those shirts? I just want to pet all the dogs. is they're far more important to that. Whether we're inside the shelter or working with people in the community, pets are a part of their family. They are the reason that some people get up in the morning. There's the reason that people are living in their cars in Muskegon County because they do not want to give up their pet. So, what are those? We have people too that will get pets because they're like everybody else has them. I've always wanted a pet. Maybe they're not in a position to have that, financially take care of them, get them vetted. Unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of things where people are not able to have access to vet care. Listen, I have 2 dogs. I know how expensive that is, right? But that doesn't mean that people cannot, have a pet. So when we're working in the public, what can we do to help you? Because the people who have pets in our community, they're going to the dog park, they're going to the beach, they're going everywhere that your dogs are, and we know these dogs are not vaccinated. They do not have the rabies vaccine, right, Kathy? We know they do not have their healthcare vaccines. We are seeing an increase of parvo, dogs that are dying literally in our parking lot, dogs that we have to euthanize in our parking lot because they will wipe out our animal shelter. And they're going to the places that you are bringing your dogs. Our goal is public safety, human safety, animal safety. So when we're working out in the community, not just within the confines of our 4 walls in the shelter, but what is going on in the community? What do you need? We need to keep this pet safe for that pet and that family, but also for the community. Because again, we know that they're out there. The rabies vaccinations. Connie, our board, we're constantly fundraising and writing grants to support the rabies vaccine, those healthcare vaccines. And these guys are amazing. So what we're finding out in the field, we come right back to our board of directors and go, this is what we need. And they will find the money. They will find the way of doing it. We will find our vets so that we can do that. So our goal is constantly evolving. We use our love for animals. I mean, we all want to be there and work with animals. Today, my staff and I, we walked in and we have this little dog, Daisy, and she's like a little senior dog. She's like a little Toto type of dog. And we keep her in the front office because she's like a million years old. But she still has a lot of life left in her. And her owner was evicted the other day and he had 3 dogs. And so we get a call from Muskegon Heights Police Department. They're trying to work with this gentleman. We're like, all right, we're going to do what we can. What other job can I walk into? And she's in the office like, hey, like greeting everybody. So we truly love working with the animals, but Pound Buddies, our tagline is putting people and pets together. And that's one thing our staff, we focus on. The people part of that always comes first, right? And so we have this very unique opportunity to use our love for animals to positively impact the people in our community. And again, that's just a constant evolving process. But we're really excited to embark on that. Get it? So, and work to help with those, keeping the dogs in the home. Kathy, we work with Kathy Moore over there in the health department too. We oversee when it comes to the animal control, not only dogs running at large, which I always thought that would be the fun part. That's kind of how it started. Just like, yeah, let's go out and catch a dog. But man, it is so much more. Should have a TV crew following us around. Last week we had 3 different occasions. Police called us in because people were getting arrested and they have their dogs with them while they're committing crimes. So there's the craziest things happen and people have their dogs with them. Like I said, they're part of their lives. So assisting law enforcement, anytime, I'm telling you, there's some crazy things that happen. When law enforcement is involved, if there's an animal that's impeding the services that they need to do, we got to get out there and extract those animals, get those animals safe, and let law enforcement, our first responders, do their jobs that they need to do. We had a call the other day, an officer had to do a check well-being, but couldn't get in because there was 3 vicious dogs that were out there guarding the house, which great, but we go in and we have a very specialized and skilled staff that does that. It's not all the little fluffies. So we go in and deal with the dangerous dogs, the bite dogs. We've had people who are unfortunately deceased or medical issues in their home and their pet is guarding them. And so again, when first responders have to get in there, we're going in and taking care of those animals. So things that I would never have even thought, they didn't tell me this when I took this job. I probably would have said no. You know, and now you kind of feel like, all right, you know, this officer just called, okay, you know, got to do it. So it's so much more encompassing. I know even what we think sometimes, we don't even ask questions and we're like, just go get the animal. Evictions, animals that are left in there, cruelty cases. We're working right alongside our amazing officers and prosecutors and everybody to ensure that people who are not taking care of animals and abusing and neglecting are held accountable for that. And that is taken extremely seriously too. Again, these services that you think, oh, why do you care that much about, you know, the animals? Well, it's well documented that crimes against animals are directly related to crimes against people. And I will say again, after several years now of doing this job and the evolution, there are more times than not, if I get out onto a call, if I'm called by law enforcement or a city inspector, somebody has called in to check well-being, we are there focusing on the animal, but our eyes are open to the children in the home, the condition of the home, the woman in the home, whatever is going on, the vulnerable people that are in their home. And it's amazing how many times there are lots of different things going on, but our part is the animal and there are other services that are brought in. So it's eye-opening. And again, you can be an animal lover or not, but they're woven into you know, our lifestyle and our community. And again, it's just another marker of a quality of life and how can we help the people in our community as a whole. And our focus is the animals to help the services, the amazing services that are already being done out here.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we did. We're good. So how about questions? Okay, right there.
Who I pick first? Thank you. So what is your biggest need and how can people help you? Is it volunteer? Is it dropping off dog food? Is it just making a donation through the QR code on your brochure?
Everybody come in and get a dog today. That would be our greatest need.
I'm very proud to be part of this organization. Thank you. And Jan, you know me for some time. There are some upcoming events. Would you like to speak about that? I know the deck goes to the dogs on the 27th. I know there's a lot of members here that'd be interested in some of the events that are coming up that can help Pound Buddies.
Just real quick to seriously answer your question, on our website, so our greatest needs, honestly, are the things that can be picked up very easily at Meijer's, and they're the things that we use on a daily basis, paper toweling, dish soap, things like that. They're so easy to get, and they're on our website. We have a wish list.
Yes, a question?
Yes.
Yes? I'm holding on.
Oh, the events. Okay. All right. We do have some events coming up. We do have the deck goes to the dogs. That's an event on August 27th from 6 to 9 at the deck. They're kindly invited us to come and just have fun. Brenna Band is playing, so please come and join us if you want to on that night. We do have our first annual Furball Gala coming up next March, and this will be our first one. It'll be at Fricano's. There'll be a lot more information coming out about that, but we're going to ask everybody to dress to the canines and join us for a gala. So we do have, but if you, we put most of everything on social media, so if you can follow us on there, you'll find out about our events as well. Thanks, Doug.
Beg your pardon, didn't realize there was an extension there. Just curious, how much do you collaborate with the multiple other animal shelters there are in Muskegon, Oscoda County?
Quite a bit. Because of the numbers of the intakes that we have on a daily basis, there is absolutely no way that we could do what we do, save the lives that we do, without the collaboration of other organizations. Big Lake Humane Society, the former Muskegon Humane Society, love them. They are constantly, whatever we need, I can call up Alexis, their director. We collaborate on a number of things. They Are Fabulous, Noah's Project, same thing, Harbor Humane, and we also use Canine Companions. I'm sorry, well, we use them, and then Hearts of Hope. So different organizations. Again, the number of intakes, we're running adoptions literally 7 days a week, 365. If there's a way to get a dog out of there, we're going to do it. Unfortunately, the intakes are nonstop. If we have an open kennel, we're waiting. Get it cleaned out quick, we got a dog in. So for these other organizations to step in, we could not do it without their help.
So I just have to warn you, when you're friends with somebody who's the chair of the board and they continuously put pictures of a cute puppy that they're fostering, you end up adopting said puppy. But one of the things I'd like you to address is the adoption fee, which is incredibly reasonable when you realize everything that's covered in it, those vaccinate. Can you talk about that? Like when we adopted Poppy, now Luna, we took her back, took her in for a rabies vaccine, and that was included. And when she was spayed months later, when she was old enough. So maybe talk about how incredibly reasonable that is.
Yeah, it is. Our adoption fee, I think for an adult dog right now is $250, and that I don't even think that covers everything that we do. But the state of Michigan requires all shelter animals to be spayed or neutered as part of adoption. So that is a state requirement. Those fees for us, it's $175 per dog. If that's no complication, that's our cost. So $175. The state required rabies vaccination is $35. And then we microchip for obvious reasons. And then the healthcare vaccines are included in that. So I don't even think you can get a spay or neuter for $250. So it is reasonable.
That's not how that works, Dave.
I couldn't hear that. Can you repeat
Dave,
that?
you don't have the mic. You have to raise your hand and wait for me. Tim, are we to our last question? One more? Okay, I'm going to hand it to Cindy.
I just wondered, is there a mobile service that comes to people's houses to help them get their pets vaccinated if they can't get their pets out of the house?
Not right now. I will tell you that is one of our ideas that we're like, when the building's paid off and everything else. That's one of the things that is very difficult, transportation. And again, working out in the field, we're recognizing that. So there's nothing right now, but there will be hopefully in the future.
Thank you again for inviting us to come. Thank you so much.
We'd like to thank you for your great presentation that you made today. A lot of really good information. As a part of having speakers, we make an honorarium on the speakers and their organization's behalf to Shelter Box Disaster Relief. It's a joint partnership with Rotary International in providing housing, temporary housing for people in disasters around the world. Thank you.
Thanks.
At this time, Mike, would you show the birthday slide? Much larger list than we had last week. Nancy McCarthy, August the 8th. Frank Peterson, August the 9th. Diana Osborne on the 10th. Sarah Rinsma Sibinga, the 11th. Darlene Collet and Dale share the 13th of August. And Rob Taylor on the 14th. So happy birthday, everybody! And we're going to sing to those that are here today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. For those of you with birthdays, either in this group or another group, please consider making a $10 contribution to our Caring Connection. We have envelopes up front and a QR code on the birthday flyers at the podium. So I encourage you, for the benefits of our Caring Connection, that you make your gift. Today, we spotlight an individual for the Rotarians in Action. We spotlight an individual with a unique perspective of the benefits of our services to the youth of our community.
My name is Danielle Fano, and I'm here today to talk about my daughter's trip to Taiwan for foreign exchange. My concern is that she was just joking about it. I didn't think she was serious about it because she's rather shy. So I didn't think that meeting a whole bunch of strangers in a whole new country, learning a whole new language, I didn't think it was in her vicinity. I didn't think she would do it. It turned out very well. Except even yesterday, she asked me to make a phone call for her because she was too shy about it, which I thought was so funny because, 10 whole months she was with 2 different families. It's made me realize that I can let go and know that I did a pretty good job at raising her to the point where she can actually do things on her own and I don't have to baby her anymore, which is kind of strange. I think it's made her more social. I think it's really made her grow up. She's definitely more independent now that she's come home. She doesn't even tell me when she's leaving anymore. It's like she's a full-blown adult. She still isn't even 18 yet. So, she's definitely made her a more social, almost feels like she's an adult now. It's kind of weird. I would want to say thank you to Christy Pollock that helped Jillian through this whole process. Well, Luca, she calls herself Luca. But she's helped her throughout this whole process. And if it weren't for her talking her up into it too, I feel like she probably wouldn't have went through the whole process because she helped her along the whole way. And I mean, she did a lot on her own, but if it weren't for Christy, I really don't know if she would have went through all this. So if it weren't for her, that's the biggest thank you, and that to the Rotary too. I just can't believe she actually went through all of it and that it's all wrapped up now, that she's over.
Well, one of the purposes of the Spotlight video series is to give us some feeling for the great work that we're doing from the perspective of the people that are receiving it, and so that's what we had today. At this time, I would like to call forward the 3 prospective new members and their sponsors. We have Claire Ritter with her sponsor, Claire Root Benson, Tiffany DuPont Nowak with her sponsor, Jenny Sprague, and Mark Vanderstel with his sponsor, Chris Vanderstel. So at this time, I will, once you get that shot. Okay. If the prospective members would move over to this, over here, we can, well, I'm sorry, I'm ahead of myself. Jenny says, yes, I am. So, Jenny's been a great mentor. Yeah, I know. Well, Jenny's been a great mentor to me, and I appreciate your help. So at this time, if the sponsors could introduce the prospective members, I'd appreciate it.
I have the microphone, so I'll start here. This is Claire Ritter. Claire is a semi-recent transplant to Muskegon, having moved here with her family during the summer of 2022 for her husband, Torin. This moved him back to where he grew up. And for their 6 children, Muskegon has provided a totally new experience. It regularly comes up in conversation how fast and how deeply they've all come to love Muskegon and how grateful they are to be here. Woohoo! Claire is a mom, a real estate agent, a proud member of the LGBTQ+ community, a hobby photographer, an amateur beekeeper, public school parent, homeschooling parent, lover of nature and gardening, and a skilled knitter. When asked why Rotary, Claire referenced the children's book, Miss Rumphius, which is sometimes better known as the story of the Lupine Lady. In the story, the main character is told by her grandfather as a child that she needs to do something to make the world more beautiful. The message that we all have a responsibility to do what we can do to make the world a nicer place for everyone has been a cornerstone message in Claire's parenting for the last 19 years. Joining Rotary feels like a natural place to find more ways to contribute to the world.
My fellow My fellow Rotarians, it is my great pleasure to introduce Tiffany DuPont Novak to you. Tiffany was born and currently resides in Fruitport, Michigan. In her bio, she states that, and I quote, she was fortunate to grow up in West Michigan's warm and welcoming theater community, end quote. I first met Tiffany when she was a high school student, came into the Muskegon Civic Theater office to sign up for an audition for our production of Angel Street. She was cast in that show as Nancy, a young housekeeper. Many other roles followed, including Annie Sullivan in The Miracle Worker, and one of my favorites, Babette, the French feather duster in Disney's Beauty and the Beast. She was awesome. After graduating from Grand Valley State University, can I get a go Lakers? There we go, okay. She found her professional home in arts administration. She served as the education administrator for Muskegon Civic Theater, but all too soon, Tiffany left MCT to pursue an impressive career in arts administration. She was the marketing and sales director and eventual director of advancement for Lexington Children's Theater in Lexington, Kentucky. After more than 12 years at that theater, LCT, she served as the development manager for Actors Theater of Louisville, a Tony Award-winning Lort Theater in Louisville, Kentucky. What is Lort, you may ask? Lort Theater is a member of the League of Resident Theaters, the largest professional theater or association in the United States. Tiffany has a diverse resume of board leadership and volunteerism. She is a graduate of the Lexington Leadership Program and received her master's degree in community and leadership development from the University of Kentucky. Any Go Wildcats out there? I guess not. There we go. Some of Tiffany's other civic and professional engagement work includes a founding member of TEACH, which is Theater for Equity, Accountability, Community, and Healing, a board member of Big Brothers, Big Sisters of the Bluegrass, Southern Theater Magazine editorial board, the marketing chair for 5 years for the Lexington Pride Festival, and a Leadership Lexington Youth Steering Committee member also for 5 years. Tiffany has come back to us here in West Michigan, and we are so glad she did. She currently serves as the development director for St. Cecilia Music Center in Grand Rapids and is a partner to her husband Tyler and mom to their almost 2-year-old son Finn. Please help me in welcoming Tiffany to the Muskegon Rotary Club. We are so fortunate to have her as a member.
Well, hello. I am Chris Vanderstel. Standing next to me is my husband, Mark Vanderstel. That's exciting. Last time I announced that, he was just my fiance, right? So Mark Vanderstel is a long life resident of West Michigan and has been a dedicated police officer for 21 years. He began his career in 2003 with the Grand Haven Department of Public Safety and transferred to the beautiful city of Norton Shores in 2004. In Norton Shores, he rose through the ranks, succeeding all the way and doing lots of different things within the police department. But last year in October, he was appointed chief of police. Mark earned a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and a master's in public administration as of last week from Grand Valley State University. Go Lakers! And he is a graduate of Michigan State University's School of Staff and Command, and from 2018. But he is way more of a U of M fan. Mark is no stranger to community service. He is the guest services director for the Michigan Irish Music Festival. He is co-chair of the Jonathan Ginka Memorial Golf Committee as well. And he plays a little bit of golf. He recently married me. Yay! And together we have a beautiful blended family of 3 children and 1 Yorkshire terrorist. We'll talk later, Lana. In Mark's free time, he enjoys vacationing with friends and family, and he is a decorated bowler, having won several times 300 games. And his dad's going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame next month, so that's pretty exciting for us. But he learned from his dad, and he has also taught his daughter to be a competitive bowler who was the state champion too. That's our Mark.
Well, now I think I've got it right. With new members, please move over to the front here. Thank you. On behalf of the Muskegon Rotary Club, it is my privilege to induct these three members, Claire, Tiffany, and Mark. You have been chosen for membership in Muskegon Rotary Club as a person of good character, high ethical standards, heart for service, and ideals of Rotary. Fellowship and friendship are the first aims and rewards of Muskegon Rotary membership. You will enjoy a network of leaders and professionals who are committed to welcoming and mentoring you. We are admitting you into Muskegon Rotary Club and into fellowship of Rotary throughout the world. Membership is an honor and privilege with its corresponding obligations. Your attendance will nurture your understanding and commitment to our principal motto, service above self. Every member is expected to perform his or her share of club service, community service, participation in fundraisers to support our charitable beneficiaries, and the ideal of friendship and networking. As you receive, so must you give. If you accept these obligations, please say, I do. They all said, I do. And lastly, I have a challenge for you to share the gift of membership in Rotary and invite another person with your same qualities of character to join Muskegon Rotary in the next 6 months. Do you accept that challenge by saying, I do? There we go. Claire, Tiffany, and Mark, in the name of the Rotary Club of Muskegon, I hereby formally admit you to membership in this club. Rotary members and guests, please rise and welcome the newest Rotarians in the world, Claire, Tiffany, and Mark. At this time, I will be presenting you with pins. I don't see any badges, so they must be either up front or soon to be arriving, directories and four-way tests. So one moment, I'll gather those and have your sponsors present them to me, if they would move forward. One of those two stuck together. And then one more goodie that we have for you, the four-way test here. So thank you very much, and another applause for our newest members. Thank you. Okay, we're all set. Thank you. Okay, we have a few announcements. I think Pete DeBoer has one to come forward on, and the rest of them I'll go over while he's move forward. There will be no Rewind meeting tonight. The Microforest Mondays continue on Mondays for this summer from 8:30 to 10:30. They really need help. Pete, you want to come forward and talk about the Harvest Fest?
Yeah, thanks, Tim. I am here as a proud member of the sponsorship and fundraising committee for Harvest Fest. And I think Mike's going to get up, look at that, this code, which you already got for you, but just in case you didn't do your homework the last couple of weeks, get your phones out now, take the QR code, save it as a window, right? So when you run into somebody who wants to sponsor Harvest Fest, you can bring it right up on your phone, right? Because it'll be right there in your pocket. It's fantastic, right? So in all seriousness, we are looking to wrap up sponsorship of Harvest Fest within the next couple of weeks to have that done by beginning of September, so we don't have to come up here and talk to you again. We love talking to you, but enough is enough, right? So if everybody has a chance to do this, think about one organization or sponsor that can help us with Harvest Fest. We would really appreciate it. Also, we are looking for silent auction items. Darlene already contributed 2 fall-themed baskets. Muskegon Civic has one. Muskegon Lakeshore Museum Center has one. So if you have the availability to donate something for the silent auction at Harvest Fest, Carla, well, I don't think Carla's here. Is Stephanie here? Okay, well, when you see them next, Stephanie Tushek and Carla Flanders, they are taking those. So if you want to talk to them about what that silent auction item can be, they're the ones to talk to. Or you can talk to me. I would love to talk to you, and then I will tell you, go talk to Stephanie and Carla. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Pete. We've mentioned this a couple of times, but we're getting very close to it. Saturday, August the 17th, we will be having a joint event with the Grand Rapids Rotary. Watch for it in your Sign Up Genius invites. We will be doing a service project at the Boys and Girls Club, doing landscaping and grounds from 9:30 to 11:30, and a social event at the deck from noon to 1:30. Importantly, this is, please listen up on this one. We need a member to serve as chairperson for the chili cook-off. This fundraiser funds the building and other materials for our youth spring trips to El Salvador and Honduras. Please contact me. We recently had somebody identified who was going to serve, but just recently that person indicated they could not serve. So we really could use some help. Planning actually starts in the next month. So please come forward with any ideas that you might have. Nominations Committee. The Nominations Committee will soon be meeting to consider a slate of new members to add to the Board of Directors starting July 2025. If you have any interest, please come to me or contact me. And then finally, Muskegon Risings, episode number 31, will be Walt Golkowski about the Muskegon Clippers baseball team. So that's what we have for announcements today. At this time, the raffle, I think, is being handled by Ed. Ed is the back of the room. Ed, if you give somebody the opportunity. Seven, all sevens. Right. I think I know where his birthday money contribution is going. $5. 735. $5. Susan. Now the big purse here. $20. $803. Oh, wow. Looks like it might be Jason back there in the corner. Yeah. It could go to the Clippers as part of that program you're doing. Okay. Next week's program will be the Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. If you would please rise, we'll recite the four-way test. of the things we think, say, or do. Is it true? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you very much, and have a great weekend.